Hello and welcome back to your practice. Today's class is going to be a nice chest opening, back bending flow that is going to lead us into bow pose, Dhanurasana. So this is going to require spinal mobility, which we're going to open up together, a little bit of hip flexor extension and quad extension. So pretty much just meaning that we need to release and open up the front of the body and strengthen the back of the body. So this class should feel really nice. It's going to engage a little bit of the core as well so that we can start to tone the core and have that nice connection between your core, your legs, and your back. So pretty much integrating your whole body. And having some props might feel nice. So 2 blocks and a blanket would be good for this session. So let's get right into it. You're going to start on your back. And we're going to come into constructive rest. So that means feet on the ground, hands on the belly. And you can either keep your knees separate by having your feet hip distance, or if it feels better, you can let your knees fall in towards each other and maybe your feet open a little bit. Relax the shoulders, the jaw. Take a few deep breaths. Start to get present right away. Getting centered, grounded in your practice, grounded in your why for showing up today. What is it that brought you to your yoga mat? And just start to center yourself on that intention. Breathe deeply, taking fresh air into the lungs, into the cells of your body. And exhale fully, without reserve, just letting all that energy move up and out. And just do that a couple more times. So filling your body with life force, filling your body with energy with every inhale. And then letting any stagnant energy move out on the exhale. Maybe 1 or 2 more big breaths. And then we're going to start to walk the feet all the way together. Soles of the feet touch. Open your knees. Baddha Konasana. Arms to cactus. Open the chest and the heart. Take a few deep breaths here. Just start to expand into the hips, chest, and shoulders. And then keeping your arms where they are, bring your legs together again, walk your feet really wide, all the way to the edges of your mat. Drop your knees to the right, keep your feet wide. Simple twist. Take 2 more breaths. And then pass your knees over to the left, same thing. And kind of just allow the weight of your legs to take you. So you might already feel a gentle stretch in your right quad, simply by allowing the weight of your leg to do what it wants to do. And then let's pass the knees over to the right. This time we'll be a little more intentional. Gently press your left knee in a downward motion. And also think of like down and away. So like down and forward. So your knee is kind of stretching away from your left hip. So you should feel a slightly active stretch in your quad without doing too much here. And then relax, take it over to the left and do the same thing. Just kind of activate a little through that right leg so you start to stretch your quad. So think of extending your knee away from your hip, a really soft engagement of the glutes and the belly like you're doing a back bend. And then come back to the center, hug your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. Really simple, just start to feel your spine, feel the back of your body, getting a little massage here. And then let's lift the forehead to the knees. So lift your shoulders off the ground, lift. And then lower your shoulders and your head back down. Maybe even press your knees away from your chest into your hands or arms or whatever's grabbing on there. And then lift your forehead to your knees. Scoop and round, shoulders off the floor. And then kind of press your knees away from your body and shoulders and the head back down. Do this one more time. Knees to chest, forehead to knees. Lengthen the spine, hips, shoulders, head down on the ground. Forehead to knees, round, grab your feet, and then come back to happy baby as you lower your shoulders and your head. So knees really wide. You're welcome to rock side to side or to just stay right in the center. And you can also explore the different grips in happy baby. So grabbing the outsides of the feet or the insides of the feet, maybe near your heel. So kind of play around with where you grab on in your happy baby. And let's just take a couple more breaths, maybe 2 more breaths. And then bring your knees back to your chest. Hug it in. We're going to come to Ekapada. So left leg straight, right leg into the chest, flex both feet, lengthen your spine. And then just switch it out. Left knee in, right leg long, flex both feet, hug the left thigh to your body, lengthen from the head to the heel. Switch it out again, right knee in, left leg straight. This time, let's hug our right knee to the right. So just opening up the hip a little bit. Thigh into the side of your ribs. Almost think of like squeezing your knee towards your armpit. Reach your left arm overhead. And then we're going to bring our right knee back to center, grab it with the left hand, take a twist all the way to the left, supine twist. And your right arm can stay straight or it could cactus. And maybe even turn your head to the right. Breathe into this really nice twist. Head back to center, come back to center, right knee into the chest. Switch the legs, left knee in, right leg straight. Ekapada Apanasana. Hug your left knee to the left. So kind of squeezing it towards your side. Reach your right arm overhead. So we're just externally rotating the left hip and lengthening this whole right side from your fingers to your toes. Back through the middle, right hand to knee. Take your knee all the way across the body. Twist, look to your left. One more breath. Turn your head back to center, and then bring the knee back to the chest. Hug both knees in. And then let's just circle the hips away from each other, the knees in opposite directions. So right hand to right knee, left hand to left knee, and just create nice big circles to loosen up the hip socket. So you might get a few cracks and pops, and then go the other way. So you can't really do this wrong, just feeling into your body, opening up the hips, pelvis, lower back, seeing what feels good, what feels tight. And then let's reach our feet to the ceiling, legs together. You can rest your arms kind of to the sides on the floor, palms open or down, whatever feels better for you. Flex the feet. You can have a little bend in the knees and try to keep your feet over your hips so that they're not like in a leg lift. We have it nice stack so your body is perpendicular with the floor. And we're going to just let the feet go over to the right a little bit as your left hip peels off the floor, and then pause, belly to spine. And then place that left hip back on the floor and let your feet come through the center. And then tip your feet over to the left, let your right hip peel up, hold, and then come back to the center by dropping your right hip back down. And just alternate, letting your feet kind of rock right, pause, come back through the middle, and then the feet rock over to the left. Almost like a clock, like you're tick-tocking the feet and the legs. And just keep going on your own. Keep it relatively slow. And what we're doing here is we're grounding down into the core and bringing a little massage to the low back, strengthening your lower spine by actually strengthening the muscles that wrap around the lower spine. So injury prevention, bringing a little blood flow to the back, to the hips. And we'll just do this a few more breaths. So keep your core engaged the whole entire time, really drawing your belly button down like you're trying to get your belly button to touch the floor. And let's just finish out so that you do both sides evenly. And start to come back to center once you finish out. And hug your knees to your chest. Take a little movement, take what feels good. Maybe even a full body stretch. So reaching the arms and the legs, extending, lengthening through the whole body, wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe even circle the ankles here. You could interlace your fingers, flip your palms as you circle your ankles. And then we're gonna rock forward and back to a seat. So hug your knees in, grab behind your thighs, kick the feet, come all the way up to a seat, and then scoot back a little bit. Okay, now from here, let's take Janu Shirshasana. So bend your left knee, right leg stays straight. Inhale, reach up. Take a twist to the right. Your right knee can even bend here. And we're gonna round the back and forward fold. So if you can keep your right knee straight, that's great. If not, that's okay. You could bend the knee. And I actually do want you to round your spine. So think forehead to knee. So we're just decompressing our spine a little bit here, creating space before we move into our back bends. And then on your inhale, come up, take a counter twist to the left. So just rotating the other way. And then come forward. Let's just do the other side. Really simple. Left leg straight or a little bit bent, right knee bent. Reach up, take a twist to your left, and then fold towards your left leg, Janu Shirshasana, forehead to knee. So you can see how this is a twist. You can even reach your right hand to the pinky toe side of your left foot to feel that nice big twist. This is really more about the spine than it is about the hamstring today. And then on an inhale, come up, counter twist to the right. And then come back to neutral, both legs forward, shake that out a little bit. And then let's just do a simple forward fold here, Paschimottanasana, so legs straight. Again, if you need to give a little bend in the knee, that's fine today. We're gonna sit up tall, inhale, reach up, and then round and forward fold. Grabbing on anywhere along the legs. And just let the back of your neck lengthen as you drop your chin to your chest. You can flex the feet here so that the feet are active. And we'll just stay a couple more breaths. So we're stretching our spine, stretching our back, softening, getting connected with the breath. And then you can roll yourself up on the inhale, relax the feet, and make your way to tabletop. So hands and knees down. Let's do a couple wrist circles, maybe 2 to the right, 2 to the left. And then come right into downward facing dog. So you can start to pedal out the legs, get a little movement going. Roll through the feet. Take what feels good here. And we'll stay for 4 more breaths. So any movements in your down dog that feel nice. Maybe stillness feels good. We're going to come to tabletop, so knees down. Come to a child's pose. Keep the legs somewhat parallel, so knees aren't going wide. Reach the fingers forward, round your back, hips down. And then from here, lift up a little bit so you could look in between your hands and then slide forward to come to the belly to lie prone. So you're going to bend the elbows, kind of slink through and come to the belly and come into a little cobra pose. Lift the chest, engage the lower back, the glutes. Exhale, come down. Sphinx pose, elbows down, palms down, and let's relax into this back bend. So it could be really passive. Might even feel nice to wiggle the hips a little bit, get a little movement going. And you can let your chin kind of relax down to the chest. You can look downward, stretching your neck, maybe even roll your head side to side. So we're just really relaxing into this first back bend. Take one more breath. And then we're going to engage in our back bend. So start with the legs. Let's think of toes are resting on the ground. We're going to start to squeeze the glutes and press your thighs down into the floor. Think of sending your pubic bone and the hip bones down into the floor. Pull your belly to your spine, push down into your elbows, roll your shoulder blades down your back, and look forward, rising the head. So everything's nice and engaged, stacking from the base of your spine to the top of your head. We're going to keep this engagement. Breathe in. Breathe out. Look to your right in your Sphinx pose. So you're just turning your head. Keep your glutes, core, everything engaged, rooting down into the elbows. Come forward with your gaze, and then look over to the left. So you're really stretching your neck. Take another breath, and then come forward. Let's come down to crocodile. So forehead in your hands. It's a nice little rest here. Maybe wiggle your hips a little side to side. Breathe into your lower back. Imagine there's a balloon at the bottom of your tailbone, right where that curve is in your lumbar spine, and you're trying to fill that balloon with air every time you breathe in. And then watch it relax as you breathe out. So just placing that visual in the area of the body that you want to stretch. Like there's this big balloon that you got to fill with air every time you breathe in. And then let's come back up to Sphinx pose, elbows down. We're going to do the same thing, or if you want to go a little further, start to straighten the elbows. So you push into the palms, you can move your hands wherever they need to go. Deeper back bend, squeeze the glutes, belly pulls in, shoulders down, your back look forward. We're just going to hang here. So I just want you to feel this nice big stretch. Think of dividing the back bend equally in your whole entire spine. So the back bend isn't only in your lower back, but we want that back bend to come up into the upper back as well. Maybe lift your gaze a little bit. One more breath. And then exhale, come down, start to bend, come back to crocodile. Head in your hands. This time bend your knees and take a little windshield wipe of the legs side to side. And then one more time, come back up to Sphinx. So same thing, we're gonna do a little add-on. So elbows down, palms down. Make sure your elbows are in a good place where they feel supportive for your back. Root down into your elbows and roll your shoulders down your back. Squeeze your glutes. Look forward. This time we're gonna bend the legs. So start to flex your feet and draw your heels towards your back. Squeeze the glutes, drive your two hip bones into the ground, lengthen your tailbone, root down into the elbows, open the chest. This is a big back bend. Release the legs, lower the forehead into the hands, shake it out, breathe, windshield wipe the legs, whatever feels good. Full breaths. And then make your way to tabletop. Take your time. We'll do a little twist. Thread the needle, right arm underneath and lean into your right. Push into that left palm, maybe gaze to the ceiling. Let's take 2 or 3 breaths. So this is good to twist out the spine, to neutralize. Back to tabletop. Reach the left arm under and through. Lean a little to your left. Push into the right hand. Thread the needle. And then make your way back to tabletop. Child's pose. You can have your knees wide this time, toes together. Comfortable child's pose. 2 more breaths. Tabletop. Knees closer together. Downward dog. Couple breaths here. And then let's just step the feet to the hands to ragdoll. Forward fold, come all the way up. And then inhale, sweep the arms to come up to stand, Tadasana. Hands to heart center. Release your arms by your sides. Okay, let's grab blocks. One to the right, one to the left. We're going to stand tall at the top of the mat, 2 feet on the ground. Inhale, rise the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold over the legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Low lunge on the right, use your blocks. So left foot back, right foot forward, hands on the blocks, turn them high. And we're just going to do a little stretch for our hip flexor. A little active stretch. So right knee is directly over your right ankle. We're going to breathe in, look at your right foot. Breathe out, release your left knee to the floor and look forward. So shoulders over hips. Think of squeezing the glutes, belly button to spine. As you inhale, lift your back knee and look at your right foot. So you're back in your lunge and your neck is long. As you exhale, tap your back knee down, place it down, look forward, roll the shoulders back. So there's a little weight in that knee. And then come back to low lunge, lift your knee, look at your right foot. Just do this one more time. Drop your left knee down, look forward. Let's stay here. Put weight in that right foot, really push into your right heel, maybe so much that you lift a little bit out of the stretch, squeeze the glutes, and then maybe rise the arms overhead. Anjaneyasana, active. So we're stretching our left hip flexor, we're engaging the glutes, the core, the belly, the lower spine. Maybe lift your gaze a little bit. Take one more inhale, push into that right foot. Exhale, hands to heart center, come down, hands to blocks, lift your back knee, step your left foot forward, back to the top. Shake that out a little bit. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, low lunge, left foot stays forward. So take a moment. Maybe the blocks could feel good, nice and high, right under your shoulders. Find your low lunge. Take a moment. And then knee over ankle. You're looking at your left foot, so your spine is long, belly pulls in and up. We're nice and engaged, hips are square. Breathe in. Breathe out, drop your back knee down and look forward. So your chest kind of rises up. So we're stretching the hips. And then as you inhale, come back to the low lunge, push into your hands, lengthen the right leg. As you exhale, bend your right knee so the knee comes down and you look forward, shoulders up, chest nice and tall and proud. And then low lunge again. Lift your back knee, lengthen through that right heel. Bring the knee back down one more time. We're going to squeeze the glutes active. So push into the left foot for support. That's like your anchor. You're really extending the tailbone and then reach the arms up. Anjaneyasana. Only if it feels good, lift the gaze and take this a little bit of a back bend. And then hands to heart center, hands to blocks, low lunge, lift the knee, step it forward. Shake that out a little bit. Okay, move your blocks just so they're out of the way, a little bit wider. Inhale, rise up all the way to stand, arms overhead. Hands to heart center. Okay, let's just do high lunge on the right and the left so we can get a little bit of balance going, an additional stretch for the hip flexors. So reach your arms up. Let's come into chair pose, bend the knees. Weight in your right foot. Send the left foot back. Find your balance, look forward. So shoulders over hips, squeezing the glutes in, belly to spine. Nice lift in your core. And you can feel a stretch in your left hip flexor. So you could stay just like this, arms overhead, or if you prefer them somewhere else, hands heart center. Or if you even want a deeper stretch, we're going to grab our left wrist with the right hand. Keep your balance. Push back through your left heel. Pull the left wrist up. Little side bend to the right. So we're starting to lengthen, and you should feel this in the front of your left thigh. So you're stretching, straightening through that left leg, reaching through your heel, and pulling your left wrist. And then come back to center, separate the hands, step it back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, reach your arms up, hands to heart center. Reach the arms back up again. Chair pose, bend the knees, weight in the left foot, step the right foot back, look forward, shoulders over hips, squeeze the glutes, lift tall through the crown of the head. Let's take a couple breaths right here. So this could be a great stretch. This could be perfect. Or if you want to grab your right wrist, go ahead and do that. Reach through back through your right heel, reach up through your right wrist, belly to spine, tiny side bend to the left until you start to feel a stretch. Keep your balance, using the obliques a little bit here too. Come back to center, hands to heart center, step it forward. Reach the arms up, hands lower down in front of the chest. Release your arms by your side. All right, one more time. Sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plank pose. Come to the belly, chaturanga all the way down and pause on the belly. Okay, we're gonna do a low cobra. Peel your heart off the floor, squeeze your glutes, drive your hips into the floor, draw your shoulder blades together, lengthen through the head. Exhale, come down. Take a breath. You're going to keep your forehead on the ground. Keep your hands where they are. Squeeze the glutes, drive your hip bones into the floor, lengthen through the toes, rise your legs up only, legs only. So reaching through the toes, squeezing the glutes, lifting the knees off the floor, lower the legs. Let's take a couple breaths. Maybe rest your forehead in your hands. Wiggle the legs, the hips, whatever you need to do. And then we're going to do low cobra pose. So hands next to the middle ribs. And then lift your chest off the floor. So squeeze the glutes, lift the heart, lift the head, and then also lift your legs. So squeezing the back of your body, hugging your shoulder blades together, opening the heart, lifting the legs. The whole back is working. One more inhale. Exhale, release, turn your head to one side, straighten the arms. Relax your body. Let's stay here a couple breaths. I'm not exactly demoing it because it will muffle my mic. So just relaxing one ear to the ground. Arms are nice and relaxed. Fingers are relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. Let's take one more breath here. And then you're going to turn your forehead back to center. And from here, we're going to do two more big back bends. So we're going to do locust, really similar to what we just did. This time, the arms are going to reach behind you. You're going to stretch through your fingertips, and we're going to lift everything off the ground. So before you do that, your forehead is grounded to the earth. Palms are facing the ceiling. You're reaching back through your arms. Squeeze the glutes, drive your two hip bones down, lengthen your spine, and on an inhale, lift everything up. Arms, legs, chest, thighs. Reach, 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 reach. Extend, squeezing the back of the body. We're going to stay. Lift one more rib, inhale. Exhale, turn your head the other way, relax. So stay here for a couple breaths. So here we get to breathe into the back of the body, breathe into your back ribs, into your shoulder blades, into the neck, the backs of your hips. Just let everything relax. Don't hold any tension here. This is your time to reset in between poses. Keep that nice controlled breath in and out through the nose. Keep resting here. I'm going to start to explain our next pose before you do anything. So here's where we're going to start to approach bow pose, called Dhanurasana in Sanskrit. So this is essentially the same thing you just did. You're just going to bend the knees and catch your feet. So if you want to take locust pose, Shalabhasana, again, that's what we just did before this one. You're welcome to do that. Arms and legs stay straight. Or we're going to now start to turn your forehead to the ground. So put your forehead at center. And one at a time, you're going to bend your legs so that you can catch. I like to catch just below the toes, reaching the outside grip. Or if you prefer, you can catch your ankles. But take the outside of your foot, not the inside. And you're going to do this on both feet. And then we're going to try to keep the knees parallel, legs parallel, thighs parallel, like railroad tracks. Press your hip bones down, squeeze the glutes, kick your feet back into your hands, and lift everything off the floor. Gaze is relatively forward. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Kick the feet back. Really let the feet be the driving force. Opening the chest, knees closer together. Stay for 1 or 2 more breaths. Really big, energizing back bend. And then exhale, let everything go. Relax the legs. You could turn your head to one side or rest your forehead in your hands. Breathe into your back. Notice the heart rate elevated. Back bends are super energizing. Accelerate the heart rate, good for the cardiovascular system. So just stay in your rest. If it feels natural, like you want to introduce a little bit of movement, you can have your forehead at center and windshield wipe the legs side to side with the knees bent. Or if you're really enjoying the stillness and just breathing, visualizing a balloon in your lower back, just give yourself the chance to breathe and take a few more moments of rest. And then eventually, bring yourself into a tabletop. Take a moment there, and then take a soft transition into child's pose so that we can now stretch out the back and stretch out all the muscles that we just shortened. So come into child's pose however feels good. I tend to prefer the legs closer together to counter our back bends so that it feels like a big forward rounding fold. So maybe try the knees closer together rather than far apart, but take what feels good ultimately. And then let's come back up to tabletop and come to a seat. Let's cross the legs, so ankles crossed. And we'll just do a really, really easy twist. So just twist to your right. Right hand back, left hand crosses to your opposite knee. Look past your right shoulder. Nothing too formal, kind of just opening up our spine here. Breathe in. And then breathe out, forward fold to your left knee. So round your back, forehead to knee to the left. And just take a couple breaths here. Maybe crawl your right fingers forward for that little bonus stretch. And then come up, twist to the left. Looking past the left shoulder. Take that nice open chest, nice and proud. Pulling the belly in just so there's support there. Breathe in. And then breathe out, forward fold to your right knee. Round your back. Maybe crawl the left fingers forward. And then we're going to come to the center. Roll all the way up. Maybe roll the shoulders a little bit here. Get a little movement into the neck if that feels good. I'll take 2 breaths. And then start to come to your back. So lying down again. And then from here, we're just going to take a stacked twist to close everything out. So it might feel good to have a blanket or a pillow We're going to put our hips to the right, so move them over, and then stack the legs to the left at a 90-degree bend. So you have the left leg and then the right leg. Maybe rest your knees on a blanket or a pillow. Left hand comes on top of the right knee or thigh, and reach your right arm to the right. It also could feel really good to put a cushion or a blanket in between your thighs, in between your knees, and you can kind of fold it up, roll it up as thick as you need to, so that there's a little bit less pressure on the right hip. And we'll take like 3 to 4 more breaths on this side. And you can think about grounding your right shoulder blade down into the mat, opening the chest, grounding down into your right hip, and breathing space in between those 2 points. So lengthening between your right hip and your right shoulder, breathing into the right rib cage. And then we'll start to transition to the other side. So slowly start to come out of this. Maybe reset in the middle. Move your blanket cushions over to the other side. And then we're going to have to move the hips over to the left. So kind of lift them, move them over so they're off center, and then stack your legs to the right. Maybe stacking them on top of your blanket or putting a cushion or blanket in between the legs to give a little space for your hips, whatever feels good. And your left arm is just extended out to the left, or if you're craving more of a stretch, you could cactus the left arm. This is a nice big opening between your left shoulder and your left hip bone. Breathing into the left side of your rib cage, opening all that up. And it could feel really nice to turn your head to the left. Maybe finish out 1 or 2 more breaths. In your own time, bring your head back to center. And then bring yourself back to neutral. So feet on the ground, hips squared right in the middle of your mat, hands on the belly, feet flat. Maybe take a few pelvic tilts, rocking the hips forward and back, kind of arching your lower back for a nice big anterior tilt, and then rounding the lower back and tucking the tailbone for your posterior tilt. Maybe just kind of flowing between those 2 shapes, tipping the pelvis forward and back, and then settling right in the middle. And then from here, we're just going to come right into our final rest. So take whatever feels good in your body. If you want to take traditional Shavasana, extend the legs, extend the arms open, palms open. Or if there's a different shape you prefer, you could go for that. And just start to breathe, bringing your awareness to the breath. And we're going to stay here, relaxing from head to toe. Start to visualize a soft halo of light surrounding your whole body. And this halo of light feels very safe protective, and grounded. And just allow yourself to experience this light, to experience the softness, the gentle touch, this sort of angelic quality all around your body. Allow this halo to grow in its intensity and its strength. And let this halo offer you good health. Feel its protective light, its nourishment, recharging your whole entire body and soul and spirit. And let this energy radiate through your entire body so that you can feel surrounded and fully supported. And then start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Feel your body on the ground. Slowly make your way over to a fetal position. And then eventually to a seat. You can keep your eyes closed if that feels good. Sit any way that feels good to you. And then we'll start to bring the palms together. Bow your head towards your heart, maybe connecting your thumbs between the brow to your third eye. Feel that halo of protection still with you, still providing you nourishment and good health and protection. Thank your body and take this energy with you throughout the rest of your day. Thank you for sharing the space with me. Namaste.